Okay, we are Baruch Hashem starting the shiur that we have every week. Baruch Hashem on Shalom Bayit, Mishpacha, and many things that pertain to these laws. We're only warming up. This is our warm up for the rest of the years. Bezrat Hashem, we're going to be giving many more different shiurim. We're preparing a big shiur ahead of time. I'm letting you know it's going to be coming something very big, and I think everybody it's worth it to come. It will be very much worth it to come. We're going to continue to learn the laws of halchakot. Now, halchakot means distances. Now, the distances that we have between ourselves and our wives with us, right? We're distanced from one another for a period of time when there is nidut, when there's a time when there is a menstrual, right? We did the calculations of the times that we are mutarim, the times that we are permitted to live with each other and to act like a husband and wife, right? And then we come to a point of those 12 days in a month that usually we come to where we live as friends. We live as best friends. Yididim. Very, very friendly. Now, we are learning the laws of distances. So far we spoke about many different aspects of things that we are not allowed to do that arouse one another, right? Things that make us warm ourselves up. Right? Saying things to each other that make us feel more not to say thank you and not to say you're welcome and not to say nice things. You're allowed to say the Gedel Advarim, the way to pretty much understand it. I heard a very interesting explanation. I don't know if I mentioned this before. Is the way to understand it is that anything that a son would say to his mother, a husband is allowed to say to his wife. When the time when they are asulim for one another. Okay, pretty much the idea. Okay. Would you come to your mother, right, and hug her and kiss her? No, that's not for you. That's Papa's department. That's not right. That's not that. No, there is such a thing. You could come over. You give your mom a kiss. It's not a problem at all, right? No nice thing to do is to come to kiss your mother's hands every Erev Shabbat, right? Kiss her hands is a big thing. Sure, of course.
Just for this was worth for coming.
Now. So there are things that normally what you would do to your mother, pretty much the things that a son would do to his mother would be the things that a husband would be allowed to do to his wife at the time of, right? At the time of when they are asulim. That's pretty much the idea. So we spoke about kalut rosh, divrei chiba, arousing one another, and we spoke about things that things that we normally arouse one person's feelings towards the other. So you got to be careful. There's bedibul, there's b'maaseh, there's speaking, physical, and whatnot. Then we spoke about hosh negiah v'oshata. We spoke about touching and passing things from hand to hand. Then we spoke about eating on the same table and eating from the same plate, right? These people, when they share things so close, you only do the people that you're close to. You would not eat after someone that you would not eat after, right? Someone that you're not close to. It's only someone that you're really close to that you don't mind to eat after him. Like Abba, a ben, father to a son, right? A husband to a wife, right? This is talking about the normal situation, normal instances. Now we got to speak about shiurei machal, leftovers. Leftover food and leftover drink, we spoke about that you're not supposed to, we spoke about that as well. Now we got to a point of sitting and laying on the same bed, okay? Sitting and laying on the same bed. Let's go through these halachot inside. Now I want to point out something very important that somebody pointed out to me, is to remind everyone that from all these halachot that you we learned so far, things that we normally not allowed to do, right, when we are asulim, to one time of nidut, the time of those 12 days that we have in a month, the time of separation, all these things only teach us to do what to do when we are mutarim. Right. Things that arouse, things that do things, because the time of you're not supposed to act, right, this throughout the whole month the same way, right, of saying, no difference between mutarim and asulim. That's not how it works. If what you are asur to do during this time, it only teaches us. Chachamim are there to teach us, for us to know and to understand what we should be doing. What does arouse, what does make the other one feel good, feel better. And this is pretty much the idea that we should be getting from all this. Okay, let us go into the next aspect. We're talking about sitting and sleeping on the same bed. Okay? Here it goes. It says the following: "Lo yeshev habal b'mita miyuchedet la afilu shelo befanea." We know that if there is her bed, Kodem kol, before we go further, you should know, and that it's self-understood, that you cannot have one bed. It's just not done. A husband and wife, two separate beds. It's always best to have it that way, and I'll explain to you, for bichlal, in general, for children's purpose also. Children also learn something very important. A lot of people, they say, you know what, with time, as we get older, and the children start understanding, that's when we start changing beds. No. Let me explain something to you. Whatever a child sees, it engraves in his mind, and he remembers it forever. Now, the way it works is very simple. A child comes and says, I want to sleep in your bed tonight. Okay? And you tell him, no. You got to sleep in your own bed. The next thing he'll tell you is that, why? Papa and Mama sleep in the same bed. Okay? So this is automatically, you are at strike one. You are at a loss. You know that your child will push for it, that he'll want to sleep in your own. Now, you don't want that to happen. Don't want that to happen. It's not modest, it's not proper, it's not done. Chadar HaMitot is a place where the Shekhinah is there. It is a very private place where you know that it's for husband and wife only.
So the son doesn't, children.
Children out. Out, lema. No, he could listen. You could make an exception to let him sleep in the bed. Say, you know what? I'll let you a treat once in 6 months. I'll let you fall asleep in the bed, just to fall asleep, and then you pick him up and carry him over. Why? Okay? But better off, you shouldn't even start. You tell the child very simple. Everybody sleeps in his own bed.
How about the crib next to in the?
So we will talk about when it comes to a crib. It will come in later on. So I have to talk to you right now. You should know cribs until the age where a child starts talking. Once the child starts talking, out.
2 years old.
Out.
They don't stay in bed.
You get them out, huh?
They don't stay in bed.
No, you'll be surprised. You could move his crib to another room.
Listen
Listen to me. I will give you a real better tip for life. You get the child out right away, but never bring him in.
Never bring him in.
Don't try to think as make it. If you want to make it really comfortable for yourselves, make it as comfortable as much, you put him outside from the day one. I'll tell you why. Because the child, he senses, he smells, he feels, he knows you're around, especially the mother, right? Because the mother takes care of the child. He will not let you sleep. And this is not something that you don't want to happen. You should know all those parents, with all due respect, I really mean it. The reason why you're getting not so much sleep at night is very simple, because you're keeping the crib in the room. Take the crib out. Crib, the manesh, kalibel, kravatka. A child's, what's the name? Crib. A crib. Don't put, it's not a good idea. Get him out right away.
After like 3 months, you mean? After like 3
You should know, bichlal in general, to have a baby, a little nursing baby that's being nursed, being on the same bed as the mother, is sakana, it's danger. There have been many stories, not just stories, actually things that did happen and were done, where a mother fell asleep on the child. The mother's overwhelmed, tired, exhausted, and she fell asleep on top of the child without realizing. She felt like this was her blanket. The child suffocated and never woke up. Died. There was a levaya and whatnot. It was a terrible thing. Many stories like this. Never put I don't care how big the bed is. Best advice. Do not keep the children on the bed. It's worth it to tire yourself and to make yourself more tired. But get him out of first of all, off limits. He's not supposed to be on the bed at all. Better off this way.
So that's it. Midei chova, until he speaks, he's allowed to be in the room.
Until they speak, Mikar Adin is not a problem at all.
Okay.
Once they learn how to already speak, you know that. Why speaking? Because as soon as they start speaking, you know that they are starting to understand. And believe it or not, I could tell you stories how I've seen little children.
Means what?
Little children, I would say living with dolls. Hashem Yilachem, it's very scary. Because they live with the doll. He was on top of a doll, and he was acting as if he was trying to do something that he didn't even have an idea of what he was doing.
He must have seen it a lot of times.
And the next thing I
Why?
because he slept in the same bedroom as his parents did.
Monkey see, monkey do.
What's a good perfect example. Monkey see and monkey do.
Now, how about
They say they have not seen.
Again,
Why would they act like that?
Again,
That's my
they've
question.
seen it. That's why they act this way.
They can.
Shalom Aleichem. I'll tell you good morning. Let's go on.
Again,
Okay, yes.
שאלה היא, אתה לא חושב שזה מרחיק את הזוג, בני הזוג?
What do you mean?
ש...
You were supposed to come to our previous shielding. Excellent question. The answer to your question is out. Don't you think this is going to distance, make a separation between the two? Only for a short time.
Who, you and your wife, you mean?
It's only for when you put the husband and wife apart. What do you mean? When they keep separation?
הנה, אתה אומר שצריך להיות מיטות בנפרדות.
מיטות נפרדות זה טוב מאוד. I'll explain something to you. Let me explain something to you.
What's the question?
To have separate beds.
For the kids?
No, husband and wife, one
the-
bed. Let me back to the question. I'll explain to you very
One
good.
second, if you explain then...
I will explain it. I'll explain to
No,
you.
no,
This
but
is-
if you don't...
I'll tell you like this. I'll tell you like this. Listen. You should know. This is something that we will try. Now listen, here's the thing. Now once we got this idea that we introduce a system in the house where everybody sleeps in his own bed. כל אחד יש לו את המיטה שלו. Everybody has his own bed. No surprises. The next thing is that they have is smart people don't get small beds. You have a normal size bedroom and you get the full size bed.
Queen bed.
Queen size if you have room.
King size.
If you have room for two queen size, if you have such a room,
two separate
go
beds.
ahead. But I'm saying this is the best. When you have a full size bed, it's enough room for two people to
More
sleep there.
comfortable.
It's very comfortable,
Very so, yeah.
meaning you don't have to have, as they say, musical chairs, musical beds, right? Put together, separate. Put together, separate. It's annoying. It's annoying. It's not done. Smart people get two big beds, enough room for sure, comfortably. Not, don't push, I'm gonna fall off the bed, right? That's not the idea. That's not the idea. You don't want somebody falling right in the middle of the night. You hear the hurricane, right? Something with thunder. Somebody fights because somebody fell down. They thought maybe there was.
So you think buy one full bed?
You get two full beds. Two full beds.
So what?
It's very comfortable.
You either do that or you either buy one queen bed and one folding chair.
No,
for you to sleep.
that's very not practical to do.
Why?
Not practical at all. It's not.
Only one
He's
twin.
right. Why?
No? Two full beds.
You can't start asking too many questions
Yeah, what does
after.
that bring in the
As they
sense?
go
What
older,
does that
why
take
is this? Why this?
That's good.
And
You gotta
why
teach them.
this? You know,
No,
the
they
children
see
come
that
to an
they
age.
sleep separate,
You
they
will
really
get to
learn.
this when your child is something called a Y age.
But they're gonna come to
Why
your
is the
room to
best
see.
thing?
Huh?
They come to your room to see.
Of course they gotta come to your room to see. What do you mean?
come and see what you...
Of course, what do you think? Who wakes up the first in the house?
Yeah.
Children.
Kids, and they go in the
Kids.
bathroom. Like
They go to sleep the latest, they wake up the earliest. And they're never tired. Okay? This is a rule for life. Remember that. Remember this rule. Always, even if your children are sleeping, you should know they're not sleeping.
They're up.
I'm telling you, they are up.
It's true.
You will be surprised how we know it from ourselves. When we were little,
I have stories.
we will tell you stories. What my parents were, what my parents were talking about, what this was happening, what this. Children are not sleeping. They are great pretenders. They know how to. They are professionals. We just happens to, when we grow older, we assume
naive.
that we get a little bit more naive and we start believing and trusting that children do sleep. They should know they're not sleeping. Every little thing. A lot of times you'll be surprised how the children, you think you lock the door, they're on the other side like this, right? Like the Gestapo.
With the stethoscope.
The stethoscope, and they sit there and they listen to everything goes on in the room. You should know this. Should know this. This is a normal standard procedure. As children grow older, you should know the small children, small problems, the big children, big problems. It's a rule. Okay? Now let's get back to where we were.
Okay.
I'll explain something to you. Two separate beds is a great thing. Because when they are asul, it's comfortable. Everybody sleeps in a big bed. It's not like saying, and also the idea of, okay, go away. Who's going to go away? I'm going away or you're going away?
Exactly.
That feeling is not a good thing. Besides that, you should know, besides that, to have two separate beds is a phenomenal thing. You get comfortable night's sleep, but at the time when there are asulim, you regain your kohot, and then when you're mutarim, very simple, at night, just pull out the pillow from under the blanket and put it on your wife's bed and go there. That's it.
Now, is that...
In the morning when you wake up, you pick up the pillow but you should know when you do take out the pillow, first lock your door, right?
When you take out the pillows.
Just pull. You don't have to unfold your bed. When you're mutarim, you sleep always together.
Always.
What do you mean always?
It doesn't matter if you...
But you saying
sure.
Did you say to live together and then just go on your bed and go to sleep?
No. I'm talking about. I'm talking about
What do you
get
mean?
dressed.
What are you seeking for?
You're
No,
animal.
get dressed.
Always.
get dressed.
Surah An-Nur.
What do you mean always?
But listen, people, you should know, Bizman Shemutalim, when permitted,
I can't.
this is what it is. You have to feel that warmness, the love, the caring for one another.
So you get her a king size bed and you get yourself a full size bed.
Okay.
Okay, wait a second.
Rabbi,
We
but the
have to
point-
expand on this because now I have a queen size bed. What I do in my situation?
Sell the queen size bed and buy
Buy
it.
two.
Just cut it in the
You
middle.
could cut it in half. You're very handy. You can do it.
hit the sofa and that's it.
That's the best thing to do is two beds. Achito, the best investment you'll have.
Recommend to the room.
But no, it looks, well, for me, from where I'm coming, it looks very
It's
strange.
very strange. Believe me, once you start it, you'll get used to it. You're gonna feel great. Great.
That's a good question.
Yes. Oh, we're gonna talk about that soon. It's coming. Okay, let's get back to where we were.
Should I go sleep with measure tape?
Measuring
What do you
tape.
mean? What distance? What distance?
What
We're
is
getting,
this?
we're getting.
What's the distance between the two beds?
Hand in
Getting-
one hand.
Okay, it says like this. First of all, here it is. Sitting on the same bed as your wife, if, for example, her specific bed, right? You come and you sit down on her bed, even if she's not there.
If she's not home.
Even if she's not home, you
Not in
sit
the
on
town.
her bed,
You cannot.
your heart starts racing a little faster. It's a known thing.
Wow.
If it's not, it's supposed to.
But it's
And you
not.
gotta work on it that it
But
should
it's
start
not.
racing.
Rob, what do you mean her
You have to be
bed?
Her bed. If you have two
I just
separate
gave her my
beds,
bed.
Right?
But it's not.
and she has her bed where she sleeps on. Mitam yuchedet la, her bed.
But it's my bed.
What do you mean it's my bed?
My bed, our bed. My name on it.
Again,
on her bed.
again, let's put it this way: the bed that she always sleeps there, that bed is considered to be hers. So bisman shem asurim time when they're asul, if he sits there, it's normally supposed to arouse a person. Our Chachamim did put that for us very straight. They know our feelings and we know how we think. It's a known thing. It's her bed. You sit on it, not supposed to. It's supposed to arouse your feelings. Let's go for it. Look what it is. "Lo yeshev haba b'tam v'chedet la afilu shelo b'fanea," even if she's not there. Now listen to this, huh?
Why? She's not home.
He shouldn't be sitting there. He shouldn't be sleeping there either, even if she's not
Smell
home.
of the bed.
It's okay.
Even if it is.
Hold on, but she's not home. What's the big
Maybe
deal?
you
What can go crazy with that?
Halakha is halakha.
Maybe it's something kicked into your head.
That's a different story. That's a different story. When she's going to the mikveh, please.
You know.
Maybe it's
Fine.
the smell
prepare
enough
yourself.
to kick you off, to set you off.
This could be a problem because she can come home and say, I'm not kosher. No.
Go back.
But the mikveh was closed. I'm waiting here.
No,
I am.
don't worry about it. No, smart people take their wives to the mikveh also.
I heard a story. A woman just gave pregnant. 6 weeks later, she goes to the mikveh. She comes home. She has her monthly cycle.
Again,
She got pregnant, then she got her cycle.
No, she after the mikveh 6 weeks. After she gave birth, she waited 6 weeks, and
it showed positive. She's pregnant.
She gave birth.
After she gave birth.
After she gave birth, she waited 6 weeks to go to the mikveh. She went to the mikveh that same night. She got her period.
Well, she did not
Another
clean.
2 weeks.
Okay,
That's crazy.
that's a story that happens. Okay, let's go further. Anyways,
That's crazy.
it says like this. Now, next one. Ready? Okay. Same thing will be is with her karim muksatot, her pillows, her mattresses, those comfortable things that she has that specifically that's for her. You should not sit there.
Can we use one blanket
Huh?
to sit under? Can we sit under one blanket?
Can you sit on one blanket? Blanket is on the floor.
Under one blanket.
Under one blanket. Can you sit under one blanket? No. Sit under one? No. Sleeping under one? No. No good. Not done. It arouses one's feelings
How
for
do
the
you
other.
sit under one blanket?
You watch TV,
Guys, we have
You
lots of
sit
time.
down, you sit down, and you sit, and you have a
If you're sitting on the
blanket.
couch, if you're sitting on the couch, you got cold.
going camping?
You're sitting on the couch, you got cold.
You're sitting on a
I put a
blanket.
blanket like this. Me and Menashe can put one blanket on each other. I can put a whole for all four of us. I can put a blanket.
I'm not kosher.
I can show you how
I'm
to do
Khoro
it.
Karpache or the- Let's go on. Okay, let's go further. Okay.
Okay.
It says like this. Okay. Same thing with Karim Muksatot, which are specifically hers, not done. Now, let me tell you something. Her pillows and her mats,
Smell like her.
not smelling, it's hers. When you use it, you feel it arouses your feelings. Now, I'll explain to you how far
clothing
it
is not
goes.
a problem.
I've seen what it means, her pillow. One time I've been in the hospital. I went there. I came into the hospital. We were in we were in the labor and delivery. You know, that type of ward. We came there. Suddenly I see a car or whatever, a lady was being brought on the first time, my lifetime I saw this. When you want to make a big deal, when you bring your wife to the hospital, never tell her walk into the hospital. No, never do that. Say a wheelchair, a stretcher. She can't move, she can't walk. Gotta pick her up, carry her in. If you want care right away, especially if she's going through something strange that you're not used to,
Don't walk.
special care. Don't walk. Do not make her even stand. Say, please, I need help. I need 4 hands. Get her out of the car. Let's go. Now they brought in a lady. They brought in a lady in a wheelchair. And me and my wife were there, and we were standing there looking. Suddenly we see that the nurse comes over to the lady. She says, "Okay, hon, I'll take those from you." Now this lady was holding out the 2 pillows. Okay, with us, with 2 pillows. She said, "Okay, hon, I'll take those from you." Now, this lady looked at her. She's like, she pulls the pillows even closer to herself. And meanwhile, the husband standing there behind the wheelchair, he says, "Just leave it alone. It's her pillows." Alright, this shit thing, it's her pillows. Don't touch them. Okay, let's go further. Anyways, this shit thing, grown up children, let's go on. Next one. Anyways. He says, but this is specifically when you know for sure that it's designated, you know that it's set aside, it's hers, there's a seat. You could tell that it's her pillows. It's hers.
What's the difference between her pillows and her clothing? We're allowed to touch her clothing, we're not allowed to touch her pillows?
Oh, because things that pertain to bed are more than the clothing. More than the clothing when not on her, not a problem. Not a problem. Okay, let's go further.
Clothing about smell.
Not matter of, it's not a problem if a guy takes it smells, it's not a problem at all. If the smells on her, that will arouse. They said clothing smell doesn't arouse.
It has a bunch of hair on it.
Huh? Let's go further. Anyways, let's go on.
Associated with the bed, is trying to say.
He says if there's no set sign, there's 10 pillows like this in the house. Happens to be she slept on this one. You understand? It doesn't do anything. Next one. Okay, next one. He says like this. The whole issue, the whole prohibition to sleep on her bed is specifically when the bed is set aside specifically for her. It's her bed. But if it's a bed that she slept on once here, tomorrow, there, after tomorrow, it's not a set bed that's hers, it's not a problem. Okay, sometimes she does sleep, she doesn't mean anything at all. Husband is permitted to sleep on it, even if he's in front of her. Because it's not her bed.
So the whole point is...
The whole point is it's her bed, it's her pillows. It's her mat. Okay?
Designated.
Next one. He says, same thing will be is you have a couch. A couch. She sits on it, she sleeps on it, she lays down on it, whatever. Doesn't make her couch. It's everybody's couch. The couch is in the living room. It belongs to everyone. It's not designated for her. Not a problem at all. Okay? Next one. Okay? Couch is never a problem at all, okay? Unless it's a couch that she sleeps on in the bedroom, that it's always her and nobody else is there, it's a different story. But let's go for the next one. It says like this. What happens when a husband goes to a hospital and there's a hospital bed that the wife lays on? And we know that after the lady, when she delivers, when a woman she delivers, she becomes nida, right? Because bleeding takes place. Chazal say, huh? Her water breaks, it's not make her nida yet. Water breaking is one thing. There has to be a bloody show. When there's a bloody show after the water broke, there's something called a bloody show. You know that the membranes rupture. You know that's when she becomes nida. But water breaking is nothing. Nothing at all.
But you said when it starts something you said before about...
The doctor could tell you if there's a bloody show or not. There is shitting. Water breaking does not make her any that. There's a lot of discussion of this on the poskim. They speak about it, we'll talk about it soon. But you should know, a lot of poskim, very simple, they hold. Water breaking does not make her any that right away.
When she dilates, maybe that's why.
Let's go further. Next one. When a husband goes to the hospital and there's a hospital bed that she uses. Okay? And the lady, she got out from it and she went and she sat down on a chair. And the poor guy is standing there, he wants to sit down. Tired. He's more tired than she is. It's a rule. Huh? Oh, the halakha will be he's allowed to sit there.
It's not her.
It's not her bed. It's a hospital bed. It's not her specific, so it's not a problem to sit down there. So the poor guy is standing there the whole time, right? Like maybe you get up from the chair so I could sit down. No. Sit on the bed. It's not a problem at all. Next one. Here is an interesting halakha. if a wife is not in the city at all, she left. She flew to Israel, there's a wedding, or she went out of town. She's not here. She's not here. She had to leave. Or let's say, Chas Shalom, her relatives are not feeling well. It's a normal thing. This is people going away just to tend and care for their elderly parents. Now listen to this. The halacha is if she's out of town, it says her husband is permitted to sit on the bed that is designated for her. Okay? Huh?
Sleep?
1 second. Next one, what Menashe pointed out before. Maybe we'll mention that. He says next halacha is if she went to the mikveh. She's on the way to the mikveh. She's coming to come home.
If not.
Huh?
If not.
What do you mean if not?
If she left from Israel, can you sleep on? Can I sleep on?
If let's say she's out of town.
Yeah.
I didn't find that yet. But listen to this. No. He says if she went. He says specifically he's allowed to sit. What's 84? Pitchei Tshuva. Oh, he says if she's planning on to stay there for a longer time, couple of days, you're allowed to even sleep over there as well.
Right.
Okay, so here's the halacha. If she went out, no, it's got a Pitchei Tshuva. Pitchei Tshuva, it's in Shulchan Aruch on the bottom. It says if it's in her intentions to stay there a couple of days or more, if she went away only for a day or two, it won't do. But if she went for a couple of days, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days, she went away for a while, then you'll be allowed to even not only sit there, but even sleep there as well. Yes.
Who's safer using?
This is a Talmid of Acham Ovadia. A lot of it is based on the Acham Ovadia's halachot. It's very good. Okay. Excellent. Ta'at Mishpacha. Rav Aaron Zakar. From the big. People should translate these books into English. His books should be translated to English. Very, very much worthwhile to do. Okay, let's go further. It says because since she went to the mikveh, right? She's coming home already tehora, so it's not a problem at all. Okay. It says also there's not to worry, maybe something is going to happen, she won't be able to go to the mikveh. The mikveh is locked. All these speculations and assumptions are not a problem at all. You don't have to worry about it at all. Next one, listen to this. He says if the beds of the husband and wife are touching one another, okay, the husband is allowed to sleep and lay down on his bed, okay, when his wife is not laying on the other bed. Again, if the beds are not separated, they are together, and she becomes a nida, he doesn't have to go and separate the beds until she actually gonna lay down in the bed.
What does that mean?
Again, I'll explain. They have musical beds, okay? Time when they're mutarim, they put the beds together. When they're asurim, they separate the beds. Now here's the thing. Let's say the beds are together and she becomes nida. As long as she did not sit down or lay down on the bed, he's allowed to lay down in his bed. On his side, not a problem. When she wants to come and lay down, say, 1 second, we've got to move the beds.
How about if you have some kind of partition in the middle?
No, we'll explain that soon. We'll explain that too. As long as you feel her motion, as long as you feel her motion, not allowed to.
How about if you don't feel her motion, but one headboard?
One headboard also. If the beds are attached to one headboard, it's a problem. You have to have it detached. A lot of people buy this kind of bed. They have a big headboard like this.
And they slide.
And then they have a bed that go like this, right? Or they move aside. But it's still attached to the headboard. Halachically, it's a problem. It's a problem. They have to detach one bed.
There's no
leeway. No.
עכשיו אתה עושה לנו בעיות.
לא עושה בעיות.
אני אגיד לך למה.
Why?
מלא הוצאות, עוד מיטה, מה קרה לך?
It's too much money. Let's go further. Okay, let's go on. Don't worry. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives you for the mitzvot. You open a special account. Next one. Okay. Next one. Here's the thing. If let's say there is a guest. Guests come to the house. And by Bukhari it's very much common. They have this issue that when the guests come, the husband and wife say, please take our room, right? Sleep in our bed.
The parents.
Halachically, it's not done.
So the parents, the in-laws, and the parents say, ask them, can we use your room?
Say again, what?
They say you have 2 beds. Can we use one of your rooms, one of your beds?
Use one of your beds? What do you mean?
Because they know we have 2 beds.
So you give your wife's bed.
They say, can we use one of your beds?
When they come to you guys,
What you say?
they have another room with 2 beds. What's wrong with that? Guest room always has 2 beds. In the guest room, you always make yourself a rule, always have 2 separate beds.
What if you don't have a guest room?
Because you don't, if
you
the child room or the child
have
sleeps,
2 beds
you
there.
could work it out. You have to work it out somehow. There
Never
should be
give
2
you a
beds
room.
there.
I had 1 air mattress.
Yeah, but for
size queen
actually,
size.
yes.
You are causing a lot of problems
No,
because you don't know what when the guests come. Are they mutarim? Are they
Let's say I
asurim?
know they're asurim, let's say, and I have them for Shabbat.
It's a problem.
great.
Tell them don't come.
Yeah.
Don't come.
I had a
לא להכשיל אותם. Why would you make?
How?
Why would you make them do avidot? For what? Based on what?
Because even if they were home, they would still be together, they said.
Doesn't give you the permission to help them. Sayal over avidah is not permitted. Best thing in guest room, always 2 beds. Always.
בקיצור, אסור לתת את המיטות שלנו. הבנתי?
Oh, so he comes to, let's say, guest come to your house. I didn't say it's asur. Slow down.
אוקיי.
If the woman is, if the wife is not happy about the idea, giving up her bedroom,
אוקיי.
does not happy about it, it's not allowed to do that at all. You cannot give away the bed.
What if she's for it?
If she's for it and she's okay with it, it's not a problem.
Is it a
You
good
can give your bed if she...
Yeah.
I thought
She's
nobody's
okay
gonna
with
let her
it.
walk into your bedroom.
What you're talking about?
Again, if you have guests and you don't have anywhere else where to place them, let's say, and it's not against your wife's will, she says, no, I want you to give them the room. I want them to come and sleep comfortably and rest up their room. They're coming from the airport or coming who knows from where. Right? So you want to give them the beds. Okay? Only if she's okay and she's good, you give away the bedroom.
Okay, now.
If not, you're not allowed to. There's even a klala, and there's even the pasuk, the navi, derogatory speaks about this. It's not supposed to be done at all. Here's the thing. Wait, let's do the halacha inside. Yes. The halacha inside. Say it like this: If yesh la'adam oleach, if the people have guests, and a husband and wife both agree, okay, they agree that the bedroom should be given to the guy, right, to the guest, to the orchim. Sometimes, a lot of times it happens, the wife says, you know what, your friend came, I don't mind, I'll go sleep in one, and the other room has only 1 mattress, and let's say you want to tend to your friend, or tend to your, and there's an elderly person who came to the house, and he's a man, and somebody has to take care of him at night, and whatnot, and the wife agrees that she'll go sleep in a different room, and you sleep in that room, right, you sleep on one bed, the other guy sleeps in the other bed, and you want to help him, tend to him at night, to help him out, right, if let's say he wants to get up at night to go to the bathroom and whatnot, because there's been many accidents where people just got up, not used to, not their house, whatever, and they fell down, and many terrible things happen, it's not a joke. So it says like this, if let's say it happens, it says, listen to this, pay attention, it says, אם יש לאדם הולך והבעל והאישה חפצים שהאישה תישן בחדר אחר, they agree that the lady should sleep in the other room. וההולך שם בחדר השני עם הבעל, and the guest will sleep in the same room with the husband, right? It says like this. Halachically, it says a husband should not go ahead and say to the guy, you know what, you sleep in this bed. Give him his own bed. Meanwhile, he'll go sleep in his wife's bed because his wife is asura to him.
Right.
It's not done. It's not done. Again, if the husband and wife both agree, right, and the guest is coming to sleep in that room, you should specifically give him his wife's bed.
What?
Change the blankets, change the pillows, change the sheets,
Because
obviously.
cannot.
Yeah? You change it, you put everything new, clean sheets, everything clean, neat, nice, good to go.
I always thought it was completely asur to even do that.
Next one.
To even put anybody in your bed.
That's specifically, let's go on. Next one.
I want to expand a little bit on Avram's point. As far as he says it's in-law, right, Kim? So what do you do in this situation? Tell him, please don't come.
No, you don't say please don't come.
You come with your own bed.
The best thing to do is best thing to do is not to even enter this problem. What you do is you have a guest room and you have 2 beds there. I have a guest room in my house. In that guest room, there's 2 beds there.
Okay, let's say.
And I purposely put the 2 beds in there, which is enough for 1 person to sleep on. If 2 people sleep on it, well, one of them is gonna fall off.
Okay, but we don't have those 2 beds in the guest room.
Best thing is to go out of your way and get it. Best way, I'll tell you why. Because if they are asurim to live with each other, you are helping them to continue doing more averot. And if you say they anyways live like this, doesn't mean
they're not
doesn't
gonna tell
make
you.
you do. And also they're not gonna tell you.
Definitely,
I
I don't
and
know.
you're not even gonna ask.
I don't know. They come to. I don't know. I don't know if you're
Yeah,
gonna
you're not
ask.
supposed to
but
know.
what we do in this situation? They ask for, let's not ask. We decided with my wife that let them sleep in our bedroom. We don't know what's the situation, and we don't know if they keep or not.
That's a she'ela, so you have to have two separate beds, always. Be smart. Invest money the right way. Let's go on.
Bro,
Yes.
let's say I go to a guest house and they ask you need a second bed. Is that fine or no?
They ask you if you need a second bed.
Always say yes.
Second match, whatever.
Say we always
We always have two beds.
we always have two beds.
But isn't that like not allowed to talk about your? That's like talking
Oh,
about.
Maybe
ah.
not need
That's like talking about your personal.
But maybe not need that.
life.
What's so personal? It's life. I don't think it's personal.
That's
That's
talking
why.
about your bedroom.
It's not modest.
It's not modest.
That,
All the person start thinking about you living.
It's not modest.
They don't even know.
Always have to say yes.
Two beds. So we cannot come to you unless you have two beds.
Until I get used to.
Very simple.
Everybody knows religious families.
We say we are
It's
religious.
not religious. No.
Huh?
Religious is nice.
Always says nice. Let's go for it. Next one.
Next.
Keep up with
Next halakha that pertains to bedrooms. It's a very interesting halakha. This one's a very funny one. Listen to this one. Im nafla smicha me'al mitat ishto k'shi yeshana. Here's a wife, she's sleeping, right? And her blanket rolled off and fell on the floor.
Okay.
Now you worry, say, I feel bad, right? Didn't you get up, right? Say, and you want to, now what do? You want to take the blanket and throw it up to cover her, right?
כן, נו.
לא, אין דבר כזה. נאדה.
אסור.
נאדה. נאדה. Listen to this. Listen to what he says. לא, חס ושלום. He says like this. He says, השתבח שמו שהשתבחתי עמו. Let's go on, listen to this. He says, אסור לבעל לזרוק על השמיכה עליה לכסותה. יש בזה חיבה. You're taking care of her, you're tending to her. It makes you feel good, you arouse yourself. You say,
He's like, what are you talking about?
נאדה. נאדה.
He's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's go
That
on.
doesn't make me feel.
Listen, this is halakha, this is chazal, this is not, we don't make, listen to this. ואפילו אם סמיכתה עליה ורוצה לזרוק עליה גם את סמיכתו. He says, let's say she has a blanket on her, and you want to throw another blanket, she's freezing. You tell her, listen, I could put it near you, and you just pull it to yourself. Or you wake her up, say, listen, you're going to freeze at night, I don't want you to get
Oh, you
sick.
can put on her bed?
You don't put it on her bed. You put some, there's different ways of doing things. You put it on a table, night table that's next to the bed. She takes it from there. Okay, let's go further.
Why can't you just throw it up in the air and let it fall there?
Next. Both, same thing.
She's not allowed to put on him?
That's not enough.
Not doing. Let's go on. Nothing
Much
doing.
is not enough.
It's a two-way street.
Between each bed.
We're getting
Don't make it
there.
into a game, I said.
Next one, next one.
You said you can throw things, just don't make it into a game. Right, you said you can throw things to each other, right? Just don't make it into a game.
Again, what?
You said you can throw things to each other,
No,
don't
no,
make it
no,
into
no,
a game.
It depends how you throw it.
That's if it's impossible. Throw it directly to one hand to the other. But we said not to throw directly. We said to throw up in the air.
Originally, you said you couldn't even throw it directly.
No, direct like this, straight ball. No.
What about
Underhand.
The only time you go is under, like this. And then when it flies, when it loses its power and it starts falling, that's when it's not a problem. Okay, we
You
did
could throw
say
the blanket
that.
on her.
Yeah, throw the blanket right on her. I know,
That's a
so
good
funny.
one, yeah. That's a
That's
good
actually
I don't know about you, but
Next
I sleep
one.
throughout the night. I don't-
Me too. That's the problem. I mean,
Let's
in
go
my
on.
case, it's gonna be my wife gonna get up and listen. The blanket fucking cover me. If I say no, I'm not allowed to shit.
What about the other case?
You're kicking me out of the house.
Let's go further. Okay, let's go on. Next halakha.
No, but what about the other way?
He said
Yeah.
the other way is also the same thing.
She can't cover me?
The other way is also.
Both, it's a two-way street. Let's go on. Next. Next. Here it is. Listen to this. מותר לאישה לשבת על מיטת בעלה אפילו בפניו. It says the only time we said it's not allowed to is for a husband to sit on his wife's bed even if she's not in front, not in front. We said, what about the other way around? Can she sit on his bed?
No.
To sit on his bed even in front of him, not a problem.
Even in front of
He's
me?
on the bed.
Even in front. No! Let's go on.
No,
Okay.
but that's
This
Okay.
is decided.
I
that's
guess.
more arousing, Rabbi. She's on my
She's
bed.
allowed
Can she sit or
to.
can she lay
She's
or
allowed.
everything?
Let's say
She's all alone.
only to sit, not to lay down.
Lay down now.
Okay, because laying down is saying dinner is served. Let's go on next. Okay, this is not done.
Dinner's hot.
Unacceptable. Next. Okay, not done. This is gonna arouse you. Gonna make you have a good feeling, right? My wife is laying down on my bed. Oh,
Okay,
yeah, it gives a person a good feeling. Yes.
arousing. Is she allowed to put makeup and
No, here it is. Chazal say like this, that during the days of Nida, I asked a good question. During days of Nida, Chachamim permitted, they said she should put makeup on. Why? שלא תתגנה על בעלה. חס ושלום, he's going to look at her. She should not lose her appearance in front of him. He's going to lose taste.
She always have to look nice.
She has to be always look nice.
if she there is a line where she looks too sexy?
לא להבליז. Not too much. Normal.
After a week or so without drinking, you become thirsty.
Shouldn't get scared, huh?
After a week or so without drinking, you become thirsty from.
No, it's normal. You should know. Igal derech hagav, you should know. Halakha is brought down in the Sfadim. They say if a husband and wife they keep the halachot everything properly, it says that as long as she's asuda, he's not gonna have any what's his name. Not gonna have crazy things.
If you understand, if we understand halachot.
Zguli, lo yikre shum davar. Nothing is gonna happen.
That's why
It's only when they don't keep things properly, that's when the Satan plays the game. That's when you start with problems. Next one. It says like this. If let's say in the middle of let's say this is an interesting story. It happens. Sometimes out of nowhere the wife says, I don't like my bed anymore. I want to switch beds.
You could do that.
I want to switch beds.
If they designate
They want to switch, if they switch the beds, no
you
problem.
switch the mattress.
You go buy another bed.
What do you have to do? What do you do? Switching beds. It's not. Here, listen.
What's the point of switching the
Let's say she says she doesn't like to sleep on this side of the room anymore. It happens.
You're in trouble.
There's always, she says, always I feel cold. The door is open.
It's too cold.
I feel the cold coming. I don't like it. I sleep next to the window, draft. I freeze at night. I don't like it.
Or next to the outlets.
No difference what size the wife should be on.
I sleep next to
By sitting by a table, they say that she should be on the right side.
Or next to the wall
The
unit.
wife on the right side. Sure. Chiba. Isha mitzad yamin.
And right next to the window.
The robbers supposed to be on the right.
It's a
No, you sit here at the head of the table, and your wife should sit on the right side.
Wow.
From your right, huh?
So this is supposed to be in the kitchen.
Yamin is chashuv.
It's halacha.
It's brought down.
So if she sits on the
She
left,
should sit on the right side.
if she sits on the left,
No, in the left side is when she is nida.
Why can't she?
no.
She switch seats.
Why can't
Well,
she?
my
sit-
setup in the house, but she always sit on the left side.
Kai, התרגלתם, לא בעיה.
לא בעיה.
So you sit at the right. חשוב.
אני אוהב
You
אותה
are
יותר.
important.
אני אוהב
You important. Okay. I'm a lefty. So,
so
it's always different. People have different ways. Listen, the way it works is like, I'll explain something to you. A normal setup is, when the guests are there, the wife should sit across the husband.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to put your wife sitting over here across another man, right? The way you do it is not to give problems. Women sit across women, men sit across men. It's the best thing to do. If the best thing is like when there's no strangers in the
Can I
house,
play footsie like
you put your wife right next to you. If there are strangers in the house outside,
Who is a stranger?
strangers,
Family.
לא משפחה. No, it's not. That's family. I'm talking about strangers, guests, friends. לא עשית דבר כזה. What are you doing? מה זה sharing? No, it's not that. It's not acceptable.
It's not caring.
You put the wife across you. Cross is the best. When there's
What
strangers.
if she always sits across?
So you switch seats. You sit over there, let her sit over here.
What if she always
No
sits
problem.
across,
It's
even when the
definitely not a
relatives are?
Okay, so let her sit always across. What's the
If
difference?
family comes, she could be on the right side of you?
If family comes, not a problem. Family is not a problem at all.
Yeah, but in general, they always give up their seat because you put the people, more chashuv.
Yeah, chashuv, but you should know. Let me tell you something. You should always make it known. Important that let others know that your wife is important.
Right, 100%. My wife is first.
Believe me, the wife, she's gonna appreciate it much more than the guest will.
Yep.
You say, don't move.
The guest's wife will appreciate it too.
Huh?
The guest's wife will appreciate it too.
Yeah, sure, let's go for it. Let's go.
So from this day on, Rafi get demoted. Not to do next.
Chas v'shalom.
He said don't overdo it.
Let's go on. Okay, let's say beds. The husband and wife want to switch beds. They cannot just switch themselves. Say, you know what? I sleep on this bed. You sleep on. You gotta switch the mattress.
Mattress.
Yes, the mattress has to go move.
What if she doesn't like that mattress? She wants to try his mattress. No, seriously, you don't have the same mattress. Some people have different mattresses.
אז הוא אומר אסור, you can't do that.
Why?
במזרון שהיא ישנה, אתה לא...
But it's still on the floor.
Like for I used to sleep on the floor, you know. So when she says, "I feel bad for you. I don't want you to sleep anymore,"
She
I'm
doesn't feel
gonna
bad for
sleep
you.
there.
She's just saying it.
You're just saying that.
For instance, I'm just giving you an example. What do you do? So you cannot change,
Put her on the floor.
So you tell till you become mutarim, you gotta wait.
Put her
and then
on
afterwards you can switch.
Sure. When you're mutarim, you're allowed to switch. Not a problem at all. The problem
And then
is
that becomes your bed, and that becomes
yes,
your
yes, very simple.
bed. Okay, so no problem.
It's very simple. Very easy. Let's go for it.
Change the
It's
smell.
only 12 days.
Change the smell.
It's not so bad. Listen, about the distance between the beds. You asked me a question before. I went through this. Oh, here. It's coming up soon. So maybe we should do this. Let's do this first. We're going to come back to the next thing. Here. It says like this. Asur lishon lishkav b'mita achat im ishto nida. A husband and wife are not allowed to lay in the same bed, right? When they are asurim to each other. Same bed, asur. Sitting, laying, not done. Okay? Now, this is talking about even if they have their clothing on, they're not touching, it's not done. Doesn't matter. Now, even if it's a very long bed, very big bed, it's not done. Any of them, because as long as you're sitting on the same bed, same mattress, right? It's got a problem. Listen, but this was also an interesting issue. Was also in the olden days in the cars. In the car, we know that the front seat used to be one seat, right? And the back seat was also one seat.
Yes, yes.
That was the Grand Marquis, Crown Victoria, right? All those big cars. You should know they had those seats. It was always a problem. So what we used to do is that we used to have an issue. She sits sometimes, right? 18 days, the wife sits next to him when they drive. And 12 days, she sits somewhere else. So the Hasidim from that point on, for years already, right? Besides that, some Hasidim they do things together. I told you, right? How husband and wife do things together by Hasidim. Very simple. One time a lady, she sees a newlywed kala, right? Newlywed bride. She sees the bride, she tells her, oh, by the way, I just saw your khatan walking 3 blocks ahead of you. She says, yeah, we decided to go for a walk together. We'll go for a walk together. Yes, there is cheating. So if it's to drive, separate cars probably, no. So the way it's done is her wife sit in the back, husband sit in the front. Always like this. That's how it was done. Okay. Today, Baruch Hashem, we don't have this problem. Today we have a different problem. But to say big cars today, very comfortable. She has her own seat, you have your own seat. When you sit down, she doesn't feel your movements. When she sits down, you don't feel her movements. It's 2 separate seats. Today it's very good, but no. If one of them is huge and he sits down, the car sits down with him, it's a different story. We're not talking about that. We're talking about something else. Today you have 2 separate seats, but the different problem comes out today is that when you have a small car, like the Mickey Mouse car that I drive, right? A small little Hyundai, very small, right? Very small, a smart car, whatever. When you sit down, you don't want, you're going to elbow each other. And your clothing is going to touch each other. It's a lot of problems. So the small cars, like a Mickey Mouse car that I drive in general today, get yourself an idea. You tell your wife, sit in the back. Like a famous story, I tell you, there was, in Russia, I remember there was a story between a father and son. Father and son went, and Zaim was lotteries. They used to have, what do you call Zaim? Zaim is not lottery. Zaim is more like bonds. They used to have bonds. Now, they used to go and they used to play, wait, who's going to win? The Gaz 24, Gaz 30, right? They used to go and check, see which was going to win the car. Listen to this. So the father and son went to the place and they're checking to see the house. So the son tells his father, Papa, says, Pa, we're going to win the car. He says, you're going to sit by the wheel and I'm going to sit in the front and mother's going to sit. The father says, no. You're going to be sitting in the back. The mother's going to sit in the front. The child says, no, I'm going to sit in the front. So after going, switching off again and again, the father tells him, get out of the car. They already felt like they won the car. They're sitting there. I said, you get out of the car. Okay, but anyways, let's go further. So here is the thing. Listen. He says, even if the bed is very, very big, instead he says, nothing doing. If it's one bed, there's nothing doing. We will see soon that even if it's a one headboard, right, and the mattresses are attached to each other, also going to be a problem. Have to be separate. Okay, now, he says like this. He says, לכן צריך להוכיח לאותם שקונים מיטה זוגית מחוברת שאין אפשרות להפרידם לבעל יקנו מיטה כאלו. So you should know good advice. You always advise the Khatan and Khat to give him the right. When we were getting married, the Madrich who was teaching me and the Madricha who was teaching my wife, we were taught what's done and what's not done. And when it came time to go buy furniture, right, we were the ones to give a lot of problems to our parents. Our parents come, they say, okay, we went to the store, we found over there furniture, the best. Okay, so he said, we'll go with you. Now we come from one store to another and we say, no, this is no good. No, this is no good. And the in-laws and the parents, they're going crazy. They say, why are you making problems? This is very beautiful. And the price is right. And I say, sure, beautiful and price is right. But the bed's the problem. It's not good. We need to have 2 separate beds. Guess what? We went through so many places, back and forth, and then we never end up buying the furniture. Never.
Okay, and then?
Never happened. Afterwards, little by little, we bought something else instead. We put all the money in there, and then we bought what's in batches separately afterwards. This is the way to do it. Let's go further.
What's the distance, Rabbi?
Huh?
What's the distance?
Well, we're getting there. Okay. Now, it says even when they sit in sleep in 2 separate beds, you're not allowed to have that the bed should be touching each other. We explained that before, right? As long as your wife is not sitting there, you can sleep on your side of your bed, right here. You could. But once she wants to come and sit, you gotta separate the beds. Okay? So you can't have the beds touching each other. You have to be separate. Now, how much separate? That everybody's asking me how far apart the bed should be.
1 mile.
How far apart it's supposed to be. Now listen to this. It says like this. 1 second. It says also, if it's 2 separate mattresses, you're not allowed to have 1 blanket. You asked before, if you're allowed to have the same blanket covering, right? Using 1 blanket for both. No, nothing doing. Okay, everybody gets his own blanket. Now, it says like this. Also, it says you have to be careful to make sure that your blankets, like your clothing, be careful that the clothing shouldn't touch each other. Even if they don't feel the motion, same thing with the blanket, shouldn't be touching each other. Have to be separate. Now listen to this. How far apart should the beds be? Shi'ur al-hakat amitot. Here it is. Ikar adin, 1 centimeter and you're done.
What?
Thank you.
1 centimeter.
1 centimeter apart, kol shehi. Even a little bit apart is fine, not a problem. Not a problem. As long as the beds are a little bit apart, I don't mean to say 1 centimeter.
Do you need
Don't bring a ruler.
I thought it was 1 arm.
No, put it like this much, something.
Rabbi, do you need a nightstand?
This is Ikaradin.
Have to have a nightstand.
Oh, Ikaradin. No, this is. As long as, now listen to this, listen. This is as long as the beds don't touch and as long as the blankets don't touch. Yeah, it should not, it shouldn't be a problem. Oh, some beds are on wheels. Please take off the wheels and park your bed. Okay, take your license plates off the beds. Okay, there's not the racing cars here. Okay, make sure there's not go-karts, not anything. We're not driving anywhere. Park your beds. One on this side, one on this side. Next one. It says yesh machmirim. There are some that are stringent about this issue. Is that they distance their beds, how far? שלא יוכלו הבעל והאישה לנגוע אחד בשני על ידי הושטת יד. תוך כדי שינה. It shouldn't be that I go like this, right? And she go like this. Right? And the next thing you know is what? That they're touching each other. Start done. So the best thing to do is, as much as the arm stretches, that's how far apart should be. Smart people, what they do is, they have a night table with a night light, right? In between 2 beds. And you never have this problem. Okay.
I say 1 centimeter.
Electric fence.
As long as the beds are not touching and the mattresses are not, the covers are not touching at all, not a problem at all. Okay? There are many shittot. Some say it's supposed to be an amah. Some say, even a little bit is not a problem, right? He says, like I said, to put a night table in between the 2 beds. Okay, but let's proceed further. He says like this. Mikol makom, he says, listen to the Sfaradim and Edut HaMizrach. He says, you don't have to be machmir at all. As long as the beds, the mattresses and the blankets are not touching each other, not a problem at all. Someone who's machmir, to put even a bigger space, he says, Tawala bracha. Why not? You get a bracha. Okay, let us proceed further. Next one. Next halacha is like this. When the beds are separate, you're allowed to sleep on them, right? He sleeps on his bed, she sleeps on her bed. Okay, now this is when, listen to this. A lot of people, they have, right, like the olden days, in the movies you saw these things. They have like a canopy on top, right, with the blankets, right, around. If the 2 beds are separate, even though there's 1 canopy going around them, right, 4 poles, and you get like Like it's like I don't know how to call it.
I
Huh?
never saw two. I saw that on one bed.
No, this shitting is even two beds. This shitting.
2 beds I never seen.
Ah,
So
okay.
one big
But
bed that
you,
has a thing on it.
Like a hoop.
Like something real.
Maybe there is a market for
Chupa
that.
bed. Let's go further. Okay, let's go on. Maybe you should get involved in the business. You get into the thing. You introduce it to the world. Let's go on. Now he says like this. He says it's not a problem if you have this thing that there's a canopy going from above the 2 beds. Not a problem because you have one roof above 2 beds also, right? But don't make an issue out of that. Common sense, that shouldn't be a problem. Just because it exists, they bring this down that you should know about this. Next one. When the beds are apart, okay? He says, and there is one headboard, okay? Kshamitot nifradot. 1 second, let me just do this right here. 1 second. I always thought not like that.
Opa. See, I was right eventually.
1 second, 1 second.
Oh, 1 second.
He says, very controversial. But we spoke about one headboard, right? And the beds were attached, right? We said you gotta detach one bed. He says, this is midat chasidut. To detach is midat chasidut. Brings it
What
down.
does it mean without Hasidut?
Means you're going above and beyond the law. You don't have to go that far.
So
If you
you're
do
saying
it,
one-
it's, no, there is something to it. It's better to do it. But it says over here, if it says even though they are touching at the headboard, right? But I don't know if I'll be honest with you. If it's a type of bed, right, that where one guy sits down on it, the other partner feels the motion in his bed because of the headboard,
No.
it's not acceptable.
Wait, what does the halacha say?
Again, I'll read it to you so you should know.
Read it.
When the beds are separate, even if they are at the head attached to the headboard, one big headboard
Okay.
is not considered to be one bed. And your husband is allowed to sleep in his bed, she's allowed to sleep in her bed without a problem. He says, even if the beds are attached to the headboard, it's not a problem. He says, but I will tell you honestly.
That's not a
they-
tefillah, obviously.
no, this is ikar adin, halacha, not a problem.
Not a problem.
But he says there are others, right, that you're better off to stay away from this without chasidut, that they shouldn't do shitting. Better off to separate, to detach one bed. Better off to do so. But I'll tell you like this, your own common sense. If you're sleeping in one bed,
No,
if you,
it's 2 beds. The headboard. What motion do I feel of a headboard, Rabbi?
you'd be surprised, the other beds move.
The headboard is like this.
Yeah, but when the headboard moves, your bed also
How
moves.
does it move? It's attached to your bed.
It's
The
attached to
beds
your bed.
Have to
when
move
it's
for the-
when it's loose and you don't have you have bare floors, no carpet, and the beds move. This shitting. Beds move. It moves.
You don't move like crazy, but maybe.
Let's go further. I guess they also debate. It depends on the weight, maybe. I don't know, but let's go further.
Why they have beds like that they detach, that they move
know
apart and that
personally,
headboard is attached?
Sure,
Attached?
sure. There is
They make
shitting, of
beds like
course.
I know,
Of course,
myself.
they sell them. There's plenty. Some beds just go like this, only like this, but this side is attached. That's a problem.
Rabbi,
But if the beds go like this, aside, even if they're attached, it says mikar adin, it's not a
How
problem.
people
at all.
sleep on these kind of beds? So they put it together and then they're gonna fall in the middle when they're together.
I don't
It's not
know
helpful.
how these
no,
things
there's
work.
It goes like this in the middle.
I guess there's a way how to do it. You have a piece of, you have those metals that go like this, that you stick it in between the 2 walls, and it holds the bed together.
holds the crease.
So
How
it's
the
not a
bed, the
problem.
mattress can go apart. Nothing's holding. What's holding the mattress?
I don't know. Don't know. Let's go further. It's not practical at all.
Why don't they do furniture?
It's not practical at all. This whole idea of having these beds, right, 2 separate beds, putting them together,
That is
putting them
actually more
apart.
practical, Rabbi.
It's I don't know. Let's go further.
It's much more convenient.
Could be. I don't know. Better off you get a full size bed, and you know for sure that you're getting things
So
done
if
the
you
right
had
way.
this sliding bed without no head thing.
Yeah, but it's touching
Bed post.
something.
But
long
If you
It's
have
not touching.
sliding,
But it's touching something.
but the
Headboard
bed
is
frame is one. Or the bed, it's usually it's one bed frame. No, Rabbi?
no, just the headboard. Just the headboard, not the bed frame.
If it's one bed frame, it's
Two
for
bed
sure
frames.
so.
It's not
How
good.
can it be one bed frame? They're not gonna detach.
Let's go for it. Next
They're gonna
one.
move
They
apart.
slide in the bed frame.
Let's go on.
To where?
Don't know.
How's it gonna slide in?
Bed
Let's go.
frames, bed-
I don't know.
slide the
This for me,
mattress,
for
go
me,
for-
this is ice skating. Ice skating. You get hurt on the way every time you fall.
That's why I was.
Okay, don't know. Next one. Tell them halachically it's not a problem at all, as long as the beds are separate. Even if they're attached to one headboard, it's not a problem. Let's go for it. Next. It says like this. מיטה כפולה שפותחים אותה בלילה. This is האחד ישן על המיטה העליונה והשני ישן על המיטה התחתונה. Okay? It says, let's say you have level beds. You know how they have the bed on the bottom comes out? You pull out the thing from the
It
bottom.
goes up.
Okay, if you
Not
don't
necessarily,
goes up.
not
A lot,
always.
only if you pick it up, it's gonna go up. So, but you pull it out, and the bed is there. It's attached with metal. As long as one sleeps on top, one sleeps on the bottom, not a problem.
Wow.
Not a problem because they're not the same. No, like this.
But
One
again,
sleeps up high, one sleeps low.
But
Sure,
again,
she
you need to make
falls,
sure
if
it's
she
not
sleeps on her
touching.
stomach, her hands are gonna touch his
Okay,
face.
I'm telling you what Ikar Adin is. Okay?
As long as it's not
It
touching.
says not, so just make sure one of you that gets up at night doesn't step on the other. That's most important part, right? Don't kill the guy. Let's go further. Okay, next one.
Is this a leading, this book, the guy, the rabbi that wrote the book, is he like...
One of the leading poskim, sure.
Yeah?
Sure.
Because I think it's
Baron
very
Zakai,
about this.
big.
Who do we have that we follow
David
all
Yosef.
together? Rabbi Yosef wrote a book on this or no?
Sure, Tarat Abayit. He has a very big book. Two, 3 books he has. Like this, each book. Let's go further.
What does he say there about the bedpost?
He speaks about it. I don't know. I didn't see.
I think it's.
I didn't go. I went through it once. I don't remember any. Pretty much, almost don't remember anything. I remember the footnotes here and there. Is a tremendous Talmid Chacham. Wrote a lot of beautiful things. Tarat Abayit is one of the books that every Jew is supposed to go through and memorize. Let's go further. It says like this. It says like this here. בזמן שהאישה נידה ירחיקו אותה, he's talking more practical. What's best to do. He says when the isha is nida, okay, they should separate the beds by nighttime, apart, and by daytime put them together. Why, he says? So nobody should feel anything. Nobody should know. Asurim.
If you play
Mutarim.
musical chairs,
Right, but I always say best thing is more practical. If there is room and there's availability and furniture is sold, we're not living in Russia under the right behind the Iron Curtain, and things are available. Get 2 separate beds. Go stinch. The best thing you'll do for yourself. Nobody will ever know anything about it. Okay, let's go further. The best thing is also put many pillows on the same bed. Many pillows here, many pillows here. Nobody knows the difference, right? You see, there's no pillow over here.
and how long
Right?
can we leave the other bed for? Let's say, how long can we leave the bed like that?
What do you mean?
Like it's not dirty, whatever. Have to change the sheets still.
People do whatever is needed.
Let's say
Hygiene.
you don't use that bed. Let's say
If you don't use the bed,
for a couple months.
usually they switch bed linens. You know, they say when they are mutarim, it's what's the name? Colorfuls. Yeah. When they're not mutarim, they get what's the name? White, because of nidut and whatnot. Let's go for it. Next one. He is the most foolish one that. One of them which is very important to point out. People should know this and understand this. They have these concepts that they say, you know, when a woman she's in Nida, she gets a different bed in a different room completely. Right? And they say, don't eat at the same table, right? Don't come to shul, don't touch the Sefer Torah, don't look at the Sefer Torah, right? Don't pray, don't say brachot. It's such a not right way of doing things at all. It comes out of ignorance only. Ignorance.
Wait, they'd had this before. Though.
Sure they had, but it's ignorance, complete ignorance.
This is right anywhere.
Complete
it's
ignorance.
Not anywhere in the Gemara that the woman need that.
Yeah, all of this reading in the Gemara.
No,
Yes, it is.
no.
A woman's need that.
No, there is a concept. They say that a man or a woman, both, if they have tumat bal keli, it's a different thing. They say she should not read divrei Torah, should not read the words of Torah. That may be yes, but nida is not a problem at all.
Then sitting on the woman's chair.
I don't know where the source for these
also
concepts
happens
even
in
come up. It says
Rabbi
and Raul in Hoken. It's not a proper way of doing things. Here, for example, he says to begin with, he says a lot of shalom bayit happens because of these problems, right? Feel like, what am I? Right? I'm a leper. Am I stricken with leprosy? What am I? Tzarat? Mazeh? What am I olech po? Not supposed to do this. Get rid of this minhag. Everybody should sleep in the same room, right? 2 separate beds, and that is the way to go. Okay? That is as far as we go this. Now, next one. Let's go back to the other halachot that we skipped before. Okay. Let's just try to go through this very fast.
No, fact, we have time.
It says like this. Sitting on the same bench. Same bench, same couch.
Cushion bench.
Same cushion, right?
Same cushion.
We're talking about this right now. Here. It says like this. It says you're not allowed to. Here comes also very practical. What about sitting in the bus? Right? You're in the bus and there's 2 seats.
Right.
2 seats. one next to
See
another.
the mirror, some black guy sitting near my
Yeah.
wife.
So what do you do? What do you do? You don't put the black guy next to it. It's not,
So I sit
not a
here.
thing to know. Don't put somebody as a stranger next to your wife. It's not done. You sit next to her, but be smart. Put something in between. Take something with you. A Gemara. Put it in between. Something. Comes in very handy. You put it up standing. No, you put it up standing as a hekel, separate to make sure you don't come to point of touching. Carry something with you that puts a we'll talk about it right now. Here it is. It says like this. You're not allowed to sit on one sofa, one couch, right? Or a bench when they're touching, when they'll be touching each other. Okay? And it says even if we say when they're not touching, if the thing that they sit on
One cushion.
is one cushion and one feels the motion of another every time he gets up, he sits down, it's not proper. Okay?
Not proper.
It's not proper.
Even if there's something in between?
Huh?
Even if there's something in between?
Even if there's something in between, you feel the motion, no good.
Couch.
Couch, if it's one piece, it's a problem. Today, Baruch Hashem, they make couches, everybody gets his own cushion.
But
It's not the same anymore.
Put a pillow.
Yeah, but you feel the other person's.
No, you don't. Not really.
two cushions.
Can you put a pillow?
If you have two separate cushions, you almost don't feel it. The couch is...
Couches that sink in.
That
The
I
couch
don't
like
know
your parents'
about.
house.
I don't know
Yeah,
about.
that way when you sit on one
Yeah,
side, the
if
other
one
side.
guy sits down and the other guy jumps...
Seesaw, not
jumps.
this.
It's like a seesaw. No, okay. Here.
What happens
There is no,
when
if it's one cushion, if it's one cushion, how is it done?
If it's one cushion,
Put a pillow.
She sits first, no? And then he can
You
sit.
sit on the
So he
floor.
doesn't feel her motion.
look what he says. He says, if the moshav that they sit on, okay, does not move at all, if it does not move at all,
No problem.
it doesn't move at all, the other one does not feel the motion of another,
Okay.
not a problem. But if they do feel the motion, it's a problem. Okay?
No, say it's one cushion, then that's what they have.
One
Couch-
cushion.
couch
Let's say
is
it's one cushion.
And they feel the
Problem.
And they feel it's a problem. If they don't feel it's not a problem.
What if I heard that if she sits down first and then he sits after, it's not a problem.
He says, you're allowed to, in these specific cases, listen to this, unless another person sits in between, you put a child or somebody in between, okay? Okay, and if he doesn't move, not a problem.
If
he doesn't move.
Rabbi, I feel like this is dirabanan. Like
It's brought down, halacha. Number 3, it's a Bet Yosef Siman Kuf Tzadihei. I don't think you have to go much further than that. Shulchan Aruch, straightforward. Okay, let's go on. Next one. He says like this. מותר לשבת עם אשתו על גבי מחצלת או שטיח אפילו במנהג האשכנזים. Okay, let's say somebody put one blanket on the floor, right? And they want to sit down on the floor, they want to play a game. She sit down, he sit down. Nobody feels nobody's motion as long as they don't touch each other, they don't feel anybody's motion. Not a problem at all.
sharing a blanket.
Not a problem.
It's like sitting on a carpet. You're
Huh?
sitting on a
Sitting on the carpet, one carpet. It's not a problem.
How does it where do they get
Sitting
from
under a
all those
blanket.
information?
All this is funny.
Yeah, but those foreign
Under a
where,
blanket, that's amazing.
where
All these farim are written from 500 years, 400 years, 300 years, 200 years.
this is counted as Torah Shebal Peh, from Torah Shebal Peh.
Sure, it's all Torah Shebal Peh, of course. It's Masechet Shalem, Masechet Nida Kacha. Sure, Chachamim, they know everything. Let me tell you something. You look in the Shulchan Aruch, there is a certain siman of Shulchan Aruch in Chot that specifically that I know about, for example. Doctors have to study this point.
If I don't read those books and I decide to go and learn Torah, can I get those things from the Torah itself?
From the Torah itself, you're not going to get much. You're going to get one pasuk that says something, and Chachamim learn everything out from Moshe Rabbeinu. You should know, a lot of Torah was given, not written. Most of Torah was given Baal Peh. Moshe Rabbeinu brought it Baal Peh.
Maybe I'm asking the wrong way. If I want to decide to write a book like that, I need that. Where do I need to learn? In the Gemara, like this?
Studying, sure, plenty. You have the two Bet Yosef, you have the Shulchan Aruch, you have this is what we have it on the shelf. Sure, plenty. Plenty, a lot.
Those books I can get.
All the information. You take, by us, you should know one thing about Jewish people, nothing is made up. Everything has a source. Akol Hashum Bifnim.
But the blanket and the...
But the ideas are all there.
All the halachot have a source.
The idea of it is all there.
All the halachot have a source.
And you sit and you compare one to medamim davar davar, and you compare things and you understand things from mevinim davar mitoch davar. Sure. Yes.
All the halachot have a source.
Of course.
No.
Of course. Everything is a source. Nobody just came out of the blue and make up something.
What about leniencies?
Huh?
Leniencies.
leniencies, they have what to rely on. They also brought down from a source. You should know, when any Chacham would write down, Chacham Ovadia Yosef wants to write down a halacha, first thing he does is, he writes to you a Gemara.
Yeah.
And then he brings down to you the explanations of the Gemara. And then he brings you to the Shonim that have the Achronim questions back and forth. And then he tells you from the summary, he says you understand the following.
But he brings from the Rambam, the Rosh and the Rif.
It's
Rabbi,
all,
do you
no,
learn-
but the Rosh, Rambam, and Rif is all based on the
Rabbi,
Gemara.
do you learn like this?
Huh?
Do you learn Gemara like this?
Baruch
Can
Hashem.
you teach us a few Gemara?
Bezrat Hashem. Let's go through it. Halacha lema'aseh. Okay.
Why?
Bezrat Hashem. Okay. We will. Okay. We'll continue Bezrat Hashem next week.
Okay, אז זה כבר